Our next guest is a Limerick singer, songwriter and instrumentalist who this year is celebrating 15 years of success with his band Hermitage Green.
It's great to have him with us. Lead singer Dan Murphy joins us now. Good morning to you, Dan.
Hello.
Morning.
Hey, we're just remarked 15 years is insane, isn't it?
Yeah.
And going from strength to strength, still travelling all over the world. Hermitage Green just knows no bounds.
I've aged horrifically, but we've had fun.
Like I was like, it's 15. Are you breaking up the band though? Are you
he's
like
the
what are
Robbie
you up to in
Williams.
Germany?
I had a little kind of splinter moment with Germany's Got Talent. Okay, the whole thing was a weird experience from start to finish. They reached out to me last year and asked me to do it on Instagram, and I'd kind of heard the horror stories about those shows, so I agreed with a bit of trepidation. And look, it was good fun. I was warmly received. The judges gave me 4 yeses. The crowd were fun. It might not have looked like that, but they were up for it. But there's just a lot of really weird stuff. Like, they wanted me to wear these green plastic shamrock sunglasses when I was going on stage. I was like, no, I'm not going to wear those. And then when I came off the stage, you know, the Ant and Dec characters, the German equivalent of those, I'm not sure what their names are. One of them was dressed up as a leprechaun.
No.
Counting pieces of gold when I came off.
Lovely. So you
television.
just a warm hug of the stereotypes there.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Yeah, pretty much.
But you got 4 yeses because I know I've watched the whole performance and people
class.
were really getting into it. You were phenomenal.
Thank you.
Were you nervous on like going out there, or is it like, oh, sure, listen, the Germans don't know what I'm at?
It was a bit of that. I was like, look, I've nothing to lose. I was going over here to Germany and just enjoy the experience for what it was. So I wasn't nervous. Like, as you said there earlier, we've been doing this for a long time, so kind of used to that. I enjoy it. I still love it. I love Germany. Love performing there. So
Or were you thinking this is my David Hasselhoff on the Berlin Wall moment? Where you're like, I can be the Pied Piper of German harmonica.
No, I would think I went in there with very low expectations and a sense of humour, which is what I'd advise anyone to do. I was really surprised at how much coercive, manipulative, hacky shenanigans go on in those shows. And then when I did it, a bunch of people came to me and told me stories about Britain's Got Talent, The Voice, X Factor, and just really manipulative, sketchy stuff that they try and get artists to do. And they'll sabotage a performance if they don't want you to go through. So there's a lot of that stuff. And like, I've been around long enough that I would know to go into something like that with low expectations, and I've no problem saying no to stupid demands, so I wasn't going to wear green shamrock glasses. But I would feel a little bit concerned for younger performers. Like, I'm a lecturer. I lecture in a university in London, and I have a lot of young students who invest huge hopes in those shows, and they put a lot of weight on those shows, and they can go in there and be very easily coerced into doing stupid stuff for a camera.
And because you've done it the traditional route with Hermitage Green, you've released your own stuff, you've had independent labels, whatever, but like, you can see how the big labels, they rely on this stuff, and how, you know, for a young person, it's very hard to make your name nowadays unless you go through these sort of routes.
Yeah, and social media is the same. It's kind of set up to favour viral content, which I've definitely benefited from.
Well, your
with my
TikTok, to be
harmonica
fair,
playing.
your TikTok is flying with the harmonica stuff as well.
But you got the 4 yeses. What happened?
So this is another thing. I'd never watched the show, so I didn't know what a golden buzzer was. I didn't know who any of the judges were, and I didn't want to know, because I was like, if I know who they are, it'll make me a bit more worked up about it. So I went in there like quite happily, blissfully ignorant. But when you get 4 yeses, you're not guaranteed to go through to the final.
Right.
Yeah, so they called me a week later, and I was going to bring Dara, who's Hermitage Green's didgeridoo player, over to do the final with me. And I told him, I was like, if you thought that was cool, I was like, wait till you see what he does. What we do is actually really, really cool, because there's nobody playing beatbox, harmonica, the didgeridoo. So I was genuinely excited about that part. And they called me and they were like, yeah, we want you in the final. So come to Dusseldorf next week. And then they kind of trailed off. I was like, sorry, what did you say there? And she said, so we want you in the final, but it'll just be in case someone gets sick or they drop out. So I was like, hang on. So I'm not in the final. So they wanted me to be like an understudy in case somebody else dropped out. But even the way that they tried to sell that to me was really kind of manipulative and dodge. So I said, "Ish, don't think so."
Ish, don't think so. Limerick says no.
I tried to get money out of them for it, and they were like, "No way, no, we can't pay you." And like even the prize for winning the show is 50 grand, which is everyone could do 50 grand, but when you look at the ratings and the money that they rake in on those shows,
correlation.
it shows you how they value their artists, or the opposite, rather.
That's
Fair play.
unbelievable, isn't it? Listen, let's talk to us about Hermitage Green, a new album out last year, very different kind of style of music as well.
Yeah.
You're constantly touring, I mean, between America, Europe, around Ireland. I mean, it doesn't stop.
We're 15 years doing it. We still love this. We made the album that we always wanted to make last year. We toiled over it for nearly 3 years, and yeah, we were in Canada last month. We're going back to the US in August. We're playing in London next week, which I'm very excited about. I live in London and we haven't been there in 2 years. So yeah, look, we love it. I would say we're happier and more settled and enjoying it now than we ever were before, because the road is sort of paved and we know what we're doing, and we
Connection's a beautiful album for people to check it out. But it is interesting because in the 15 years, like back in the day, you were all mad lunatics. You could go to a Hermitage Green gig. It would start on a Saturday and it would end Tuesday, 3 weeks away. It's longer than a Camogie Congress, for God's sake. It takes ages for it to finish. So for ye, it's all because everyone's kind of settled down. You're living in London now. Everyone else is back here. How's all that working? Yeah,
we're all the boys are sort of scattered around the southwest of Ireland, and I fly home, we have gigs, and it's surprisingly easy, actually. Yeah. And it's like, after all these years, we still love doing it. We played 2 gigs, and small little intimate gigs in a church in West Cork at the weekend, and it's magic. Like, our families come down, we go swimming in the sea and drink pints of Guinness and eat good food, and it's like,
But also you're a lecturer now. Is it nice? Like your parents like, my son, the lecturer.
I love it, yeah. It's been something that I kind of serendipitously ended up doing. I moved to London a couple of years ago, and it's brilliant. Like, you get to work with young artists who are figuring their stuff out, and everything they're going through, you've gone through years before, and it's lovely.
What's lovely as well is it's yourself, it's your brother Barry. Like, you're a group of lads together, and it just looks like friendship now. Do you know, you're doing it for the love of it as well, and you enjoy a few pints. And it's almost like you don't take that, the crowd come out there to enjoy the show of love that you guys have together, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Tommy. Like, I was chatting to someone about that recently. Like, I think as a band, we've all been kind of greater than the sum of our parts, and I think people understand that. They see that what you're saying there is kind of organic. We're a bunch of friends who got together for a love of playing music and crack, and people get that much more so than if it was one of us as a solo artist. There's something about a collective that's very powerful, I think.
And you're mates with Paul Rudd now? What's this about? Seriously, you were hanging out with Paul Rudd?
We bumped into him in a pub in Dublin at Christmas. We played the Olympia, and we slipped out for a quick pint after sound check, and next thing we knew, there was a fella passing around a bottle of poachine inside in this pub, and next thing we knew, we were arm in arm with Mr. Rudd. Poor fella was just trying to have a pint. He was shooting a movie in Dublin, and next thing he was dragged up in front of a camera and being serenaded by a band he'd never heard of.
That's Marietta. She's a stylist. She used to be on Ireland AM. I'm not joking. Beside Paul Rudd.
Well, I love that. It's like, we're going to have a drink of poachine and we're going to sing an Irish song, and Paul, you're joining us.
Does he? Because I always look at ye. It's really like I've known Dan for a long, long time, because obviously the Limerick connection.
Centuries.
You look the exact same. It's depressing.
Thank you.
Paul Rudd, did you go like that? Does he look like he's been frozen in time?
He did. He looked great. He looked like a Hollywood actor, as they do. But he's also the soundness kind of emanates from him. That's his archetype. Like, there's nothing fake about it. That's the guy he plays in the movie. The reason he plays all those characters is because he's just a sound fella.
He's just a sound fella.
Yeah.
Really with a couple other sound fellas as well in the pub as well. Listen, the new album, of course, not so new, is out last year, Connection. It's definitely worth checking out as well. I know you're going to be touring around Dublin and Ireland in the next couple of weeks too. Listen, we don't have a golden buzzer or anything else, but we'll look a little bit more interested than what we saw in the clip.
Golden buzzer.
Can you give us a go on the harmonicas?
Sure. So I play a bunch of different keys, so I can play many harmonicas at the one time, and I throw in some beatboxing as well.
Okay.
harmony.
I know. Dan, that's class. That is
Thanks
so
very much.
cool.
The talent on
The
this man.
talent, I know. we are.
Unbelievable. Thanks for coming in. So good to see
Thanks.
you.
Always a pleasure.
Oh, my
Great
God.
to see you, Dan. Top man.